Welcome to the class on the Gauss law. Up to here, we have studied about the Coulomb's law. From the Coulomb's law, we can find the force between the any two charges as well as the multiple charges. Now we are going to apply the Gauss law. By means of Gauss law also, we can able to find out the flux density as well as the electric field intensity due to the any charge. That may be the point charge, line charge, sheet charge or volume charge. That we are going to see after the Gauss law. So before going to enter into the Gauss law, there is one important term is there, that is flux density. That we are going to see here. Suppose if you take the two charges, see here the positive charge is there, here negative charge is there. Between the positive charge and negative charge, there is a flux always between the positive charge to the negative charge. The same, if you want to represent in the diagram, see here we are taking the positive charge, here we are taking the negative charge. The flux line is always from the positive charge to the negative charge in this manner. These flux lines are nothing but electric flux lines. These flux lines are nothing but electric flux lines. See, if you see the direction of this flux lines, that is from the positive to the negative here in this manner as shown in the figure. Now, how we are going to define the flux density? The flux density is nothing but it is the amount of flux passes through the unit surface area. The amount of flux passes through the unit surface area is nothing but a flux density. It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. The direction of the flux density is same as the direction of the flux lines leaving from the surface. Leaving from the, see here, now we are going to find out the flux density. To find the flux density here, we have taken the small surface area. This is the differential surface area, nothing but small surface area, nothing but differential surface area. There is some amount of flux is passes through the differential surface area. That flux we have taken as a d pi. This area, the differential surface area, that we are representing as a ds, differential surface. So already we know that the differential surface area or surface area is a vector quantity. So how we are going to represent this vector quantity means that ds equal to the magnitude of this area, that is ds in this case into the unit vector which is perpendicular to the surface area. Suppose here if you take this is the surface area. What is the perpendicular? This is the perpendicular. The perpendicular unit vector here we have taken as a an bar. An bar. Now it is defined as a, now we are writing the ds bar equal to ds into an bar. It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Now up to here what we have done means, we have taken the surface area and the flux, that we are representing as a some vector quantity, that you have to take it as a equation 1. Next. Now come to the flux density. Again I am repeating the definition of the flux density. It is the amount of flux passes through the unit surface area. See here we have taken the unit surface area. How much flux is passes through the unit surface area? That flux here we have taken as the d pi. The amount of flux which is passes through the area ds, that we have taken as a d pi. D pi is nothing but the amount of flux which is passes through the area where we want to find out the flux density. Where we want to find out the flux density. Now we are going to find the flux density, that is d bar equal to d pi by ds. See here ds is nothing but it is magnitude only, it is not a vector here. unit area, d pi by ds. Now what is the direction of the d bar? The direction of the d bar is always the direction of the flux which is leaving from the surface. That is also a n bar. That is also the a n bar. That's why here you have taken as a n bar. In this case, the direction of the surface area and the direction of the flux leaving from the surface area is same. That's why we have taken it here is a n bar. A n bar is nothing but a unit vector which is perpendicular to the differential surface area that we have taken in the electric field. See, in this manner, we are calculating the flux density. Again, I am repeating the definition of flux density. It is defined as how much flux is passing through the unit surface area is nothing but a flux density. This is the formula. It is a vector quantity. It is not only the magnitude, it has a some amount of direction also. The direction of the flux density is same as the direction of the flux which is leaving from the area. So the expression 2 is representing the flux density vector. Expression 1 is representing the differential surface area what we have considered in the electric field. This is the first case. Now in this case, we are assuming that the direction of the flux or the direction of the flux density and surface area is same. Suppose if the direction of the flux density which is leaving the surface is not same, that case also will be existing practically. Suppose here the same diagram, this is the direction of the d bar. D bar, theta is the angle between the d bar and a n bar, where a n bar is the unit vector perpendicular to the ds, differential surface. A n bar is the unit vector perpendicular to the differential surface. In this case, how we are going to find out the how much flux leaving from the differential surface area? See here. See how we are going to find out this means, already we know that the d bar equal to d pi by ds. See, this is the case when the flux lines and surface direction is same. We can use this formula if the flux lines and the direction of the surface is same. But practically, there is some amount of angle will be existing between the flux density to the surface. See here, in this case, we have taken the d bar. D bar is making some angle with a n bar. A n bar is nothing but a direction of the differential surface. Theta is the angle between the d bar to the differential surface area ds bar. Now, how we are going to represent this d bar means, this d bar we can represent it as a, now you take a one unit vector in the direction of d bar, that is a suffix d bar. What is a d bar? A d bar is nothing but a unit vector in the direction of d bar. Now we are representing the d bar. With the d bar equal to flux density vector equal to d bar equal to magnitude of the flux density d into a d bar All of you listen very carefully, this is very important. D bar equal to d into a d bar. A d bar is nothing but a unit vector in the direction of the d bar. Now, ds bar. So, see here ds bar we can write it as a ds is nothing but differential surface area. The differential surface area equal to magnitude of the differential surface area ds into unit vector perpendicular to the differential surface area, that is a n bar. That is a n bar. Now we are going to find out how much is the flux coming from the, in this case, nothing but a, see, expression d pi equal to d bar into ds bar, d bar into ds bar. So d pi equal to d bar into ds bar. So what is d bar here? D bar equal to d into this, you take it to the equation 3, this you take the equation 4. Substitute the equation 3 and 4 here, d into ad bar into ds into an bar, ds into an bar. Now here, these two are the constants. D and ds are the magnitude of the flux density as well as the magnitude of the surface. Take one side. D into ds ad bar into an bar. This is the dot product. Ad bar dot an bar. Ad bar dot an bar. Any dot product of any two vectors is equal to magnitude of the vectors into cos of the angle between those two vectors. See here, these two are the unit vectors. So the magnitude is 1, nothing but 1 into 1. The angle between these two vectors are theta. So this value becomes a 1 into 1 into 1 into cos theta. So this value becomes a d into ds into cos theta, d pi. This is very, very important relation. See here, the d pi is nothing but the amount of flux which is leaving from the differential surface area when the d has some amount of the angle between the, maintain the some amount of angle between the surface to the surface. The theta is, here we have defined theta is the angle between the flux density vector and differential surface area. Suppose if the angle is 0, the angle is 0. If the angle is 0, what happened? Cos theta is 0. Nothing but d bar and ds bar also parallel. The angle is 0 means d bar and ds bar is parallel. When these two are parallel, the angle between these two vectors becomes a 0. Now this d pi equal to, when theta equal to 0, when theta equal to 0, now this expression, this equation 5 becomes a d pi equal to d into ds. Cos theta value becomes a 1. It is simply the product. Simply the product. Nothing but the flux density and the direction of the surface area is parallel. Now suppose the theta is 90 degrees. The theta is 90 degrees means here d bar and ds bar parallel. If theta is 90 degrees, means ds bar in this direction, where d bar in this direction. It is not possible. The flux leaving the surface becomes a 0. So in this expression, if you take the theta equal to 90 degrees, the d dot ds cos 90, the d pi becomes a 0. Nothing but the flux is not passing through the surface area where we cannot define the flux density. See here, area is in this manner. The flux is flowing in this manner. How we can define? The flux should be flowing in this direction or some angle. Then only can define the flux density. Otherwise, we can't define the flux density in the electric field. So here, now d pi equal to d into ds, d into ds, if the angle between the d bar and ds bar is 0, now we want to find out the total flux. Total how much flux? This is the differential flux. Nothing but a small area, how much flux is leaving. Suppose if you want to find out the total flux, how much flux is leaving the total surface area means, then I have to do the integration for this one equal to integral of d dot ds. See here d dot ds. We have to integrate from small value to for large value. If you find out means mathematically it's differently we should go for the integration only. But here what type of integration? Whether line integration or surface integration or volume integration, that is depending upon the what is the area, what is the surface or what is the line which we are taking in the system. But here ds is there. ds is nothing but the ds is nothing but a surface area. That's why here you have to write it as a integral of s. The integral of s is representing the surface integral. Integral of s is representing the surface integral. The surface integral is nothing but a double integral. Two integrals d into ds. d into ds. See here, sometimes the surface may be the open surface, sometimes the surface may be the closed surface. Suppose if the surface is the open surface means we are representing in this manner. Suppose if the surface is closed surface, in that case we are representing the surface integral of s d into ds. Surface integral of d into ds, this is equal to two integrals, double integrals d into ds. Now let me see what is the example for the open surface area and closed surface area. Suppose if we consider this duster, if we consider only this area, this is open surface area. Suppose if we consider the total, it is a closed surface area. All four sides are represented in the closed surface area. So to represent the closed surface area, here we are keeping the circle. Now here what we have to remember means surface integral is nothing but a double integral. Surface integral is nothing but a double integral. And one more point what we have to remember is the flux leaving from the differential surface area d pi equal to d dot ds. Now we want to find out how much flux leaving from the total surface area means. See here we have to do the integration with respect to the surface area, which gives the total flux which is leaving from the surface area. Now we are going to find out what is the flux density due to the point charge. So why we are going to find out the flux density due to the point charge means we try to find what is the relation between flux density to the electric field intensity. Already you know the electric field intensity in the Coulomb's law. The relation is there because these two terms are linking with the electric flux. So whenever these two terms or these two quantities are linking with the electrical flux means definitely there is some link between the flux density to the electric field intensity that we are going to find out. To find the relation between the electric field intensity and flux density, see here we consider the one point charge. Here we consider the one point charge which is placed at the origin. See here, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis, At origin, we are assuming that one point charge is placed. This is one point charge. Now take a closed surface which closes this point charge. Suppose here we have taken the one point charge in this manner. See here on this cap there is some amount of charge is there. Around the charge we have taken one closed surface. That we have taken a sphere. That we have taken as a sphere. See in this case we have taken the one sphere. Now we want to find out what is the flux density on the sphere. What is the flux density on the sphere? See, again I am repeating, the point charge that we have taken at origin, it has a q coulombs of charge, q coulombs of charge. So whenever the charge is there, means from the charge there is some amount of flux will be emitting. See, suppose if we take this is the plus q coulombs, if we take this is plus q coulombs, the some amount of flux will be emitting in this manner in radial direction outwards. So why you are showing these fluxes outwards means here you have taken as a positive charge. Suppose if we take the negative charge, the flux lines will be go towards the charge. Go towards the charge. The charge what we have taken the positive charge that we kept at a origin. Next we have taken the one sphere. We have taken as a one sphere with a radius of r. The radius of r, small r. Now we want to find out the flux density at this area or total area. We are assuming that the flux is uniformly distributed. The flux is uniformly distributed. See here, how much flux leaving from the surface area, that is equal to the q coulombs. Because the flux is emitted by this charge q only. So, how much flux is leaving the surface area, that is equal to the q. Psi equal to q here. Nothing but a. So, whenever you have taken the closed sphere, so what is the flux is coming from the q charge, the total charge will be leaving the surface area. So, the psi equal to q. Already we defined the flux density. The flux density is nothing but a total flux passes through the surface area divided by the total surface area. Total surface area. See here, d bar equal to the flux passes through total area divided by the total surface area. Total surface area. So one more thing is here, it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. It is not a scalar quantity. Now what is the direction of this flux? The direction of the flux here is radial direction. A r bar. See here, if this is the origin, at this point if we take the point charge, the flux lines will be in this direction. Flux lines will be in this direction. Around the charge we have taken the sphere, nothing but the flux lines direction is radius of a sphere. Radius of a sphere. So the all flux lines in the same direction of the radius of the sphere, nothing but the direction of the flux density is same as the direction of the flux lines. That is A r bar into A r bar. Suppose if we consider only this one, it becomes a scalar. For the scalar quantity, when we add the direction, how we are going to add the direction here means that is depending upon the how flux lines are leaving from the surface. In this case, these flux lines are leaving from the surface in the radial direction. In the radial direction. That's why here we have taken the AR bar. We have taken the AR bar. Now, the total flux leaving from the surface, that is equal to Q, the amount of charge which is placed at the origin, nothing but the Q, divided by the surface area. See here the surface area is nothing but a surface area of the sphere with a radius r. Here we know the surface area of the sphere, that is 4 pi r square into a r bar. The d bar equal to q by 4 pi r square into a r bar. This you take the equation, some equation 1. In Coulomb's law, already we found the what is the electric field intensity due to the point charge, that is E bar equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into A r bar. This you take the equation 2. Already you know this one. Before coming to the Gauss law, already you calculated what is the electric field intensity due to the point charge. That is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into A r bar. This you take the equation 2. Now take the ratio between these two. So whenever we are finding the ratio between these two, E bar by D bar, this is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square A r bar divided by Q by 4 pi epsilon naught 4 pi r square into A r bar. Now everything gets cancelled, Q gets cancelled, 4 pi gets cancelled. Here r square also gets cancelled, pi AR gets cancelled. See here only one constant is left over, that is equal to E bar equal to, see here, E bar equal to D bar by epsilon equal to epsilon, where epsilon is nothing but a permittivity of the material where we are keeping the charge, Now this permittivity epsilon equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. Epsilon naught is nothing but a absolute permittivity. Epsilon r is nothing but a relative permeability. Epsilon r is nothing but a relative permeability. See here, this is the very important relation between the electric field intensity to the flux density in a electric field. The same expression, see here, we find the relation between the electric field intensity to the flux density by taking the point charge. Suppose if you take the line charge, if you take the surface charge, if you take the volume charge, whatever it is, the same relation will be applied, or we can use the same relation for the any type of charge distribution in an electric field. In a electric field, just I am revising, in an electric field, the relation between the electric field intensity to the flux density is E bar equal to D bar by epsilon.